Hi, this is Andy from the Not So Dissident Future podcast from Over the Pond, and we're just going to play the third part of our interview with Leonard Ulrich. And so here we go. It's very funny, actually, when we were doing the photo session, so many people came up and just like, oh, that's interesting, and they take a photograph and stick it on Instagram. So I was thinking, actually, we should probably do it all the time.
It was meant to be a kind of, we were actually meant it in the opposite, in the sense that, as our namesake, Dissident Prophet, you're standing in the middle of a highway and no one's taking a blind bit of notice of you. You've got a different message, perhaps. Fish swimming in different direction, and everyone else is just swimming past you, and not interested. But as you say, ironically, lots of people took interest.
Well, you created something so bizarre that it makes people, take a double take, right?
Yeah, it was the tiger head, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's our son, actually. It's our son who dressed
up. That was our son.
Okay.
I was a superhero as a kid. When I was about 9, I did create my own superhero.
Oh.
I'll send you a photograph of it one day.
Sure.
Where we used to live, when I was around, the neighbourhood was good. As soon as I packed it in and threw away the
your mother's high-heeled boots, yeah.
That as well. Once that happened, the whole neighbourhood went down.
Oh boy. Well, I have to say, I love every track on this album, and I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's so true. If I had to pick the favorite song, it would be Good Man Gone.
still from good start. Man was made to be like God in his image, to be wild and to be free. But the devil got him locked in a cage. Now the lion has lost his teeth, and his guard is 30 feet. Where are all the good men gone? They've all gone out to war. You won't see them anymore. Where have all the real men gone? They've all gone out to war. You won't see them anymore.
Oh,
Sure.
hallelujah. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Right.
one of my fantasies is I don't have enough time, okay? I'm working on this film. Every minute of the film literally takes about 4 hours of editing. So if I do 1 minute of the film in an evening, I think that's actually a pretty good pace. For those of you, and I'll tip my hand a little bit here, I'm trying to, again, build 3 to 4 layers of meaning in the film. And I'm even doing references to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Okay.
Because, yes, it's a disgusting horror movie,
Yep.
and it doesn't make any sense in terms of the physical layout of this hotel, that once you see the film, you realize it's all haunted. And most of the characters aren't even real. They're just ghosts of the past.
Yeah.
And you realize that the entire film is a visual analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got the Whore of Babylon in there who seduces Jack, the caretaker, who doesn't own anything. He's the caretaker of this grand hotel, which had a much more illustrious past than it does now. And the entire Overlook Hotel is actually an analogy of America in so many ways. And one of the subplots in the film, and this is, again, Stanley Kubrick, right? Brilliant, eccentric genius.
Absolutely.
And as a budding filmmaker, I'm going, oh, come on, you can't be serious. That's in there too, right? One of the subplots is the Gold Room. And Jack Nicholson, who plays Jack, the main character, who literally goes insane, okay, is making trips in time. And initially, he enters this Gold Room where there's a huge party going on with a big band from the 1920s. Everyone's having a good time. And then he tries to order a drink, and the bartender, who's a ghost, everyone around him is a ghost, says, "Oh, no charge, Mister. No charge, sir. Your money's no good here." And if you pause at that moment, Jack Nicholson is holding up a piece of American currency from the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right.
Right, which is out of phase because back in the 1920s, American currency was backed by gold.
Yeah.
Right? So his money literally isn't no good. And then later, as Jack goes insane, he goes back to the bar to have an imaginary drink, which he thinks is real. Again, another substitute for reality. And he reaches for his money and it's not there. And he's now we're talking credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And then the very ending of the film is a long creeping dolly shot. And it focuses on one painting on the wall. If you do an analysis, yes, Jack Nicholson's head is superimposed, all right? But it's superimposed on the second governor's head of the Federal Reserve.
Whoa.
Oh, yes. And there's what appears to be, and I'm doing a visual analysis, and I'm using that long creeping dolly shot to prove a point in the transition from the industrial age to the age of illusion, the final section of 4 sections, if you will.
Right.
That long creeping dolly shot, again, ends on that photograph. You've got the second governor of the Federal Reserve. You've got FDR in there. You've got other U.S. presidents in there, other board of governors of the Federal Reserve. They're all there. And the gold room, you realize this has been all boarded up and just is now a wall that displays pictures of the past. It's all, and the main characters have either left or have gone insane. And I think in many ways, that's Western culture. It's not just America. It's literally gone insane. You've got feminists embracing Islam. You've got leftists embracing Islam, which, if you know anything about history, has been a total anathema to Western values for about 1,400 years. Mm-hmm. And this is what happens, like we've been saying, nature abhors a vacuum. When you progressively reject the Bible and Jesus Christ, what you've got? Well, what you've got is Christian ministers, and I use that term loosely, welcoming the Islamic call to prayer over loudspeakers in the town square. You've got shaved-headed lesbians chanting Allah Akbar in the middle of the streets as they demonstrate. You got everything that is anathema to Christ and anathema to itself. It doesn't even make any sense.
No. Mm-hmm.
But that's what God calls, the product of a reprobate mind in Romans chapter 1. You reject God, then you put your eye on nature. But then because nature is too impersonal, you start casting your eye upon yourself. And then eventually you can justify anything. So it's, again, strange days. It's amazing. If I had enough time, like I said, I would make a music video for Good Man Gone. And I just want to bounce these ideas off you. I've shot a lot of footage inside Brookside National Cemetery in Winnipeg, where you got thousands of tombstones or headstones for our soldiers. And I thought, how Good Man Gone starts with church bells pealing.
Yeah.
And I thought of, there's this sweet little boy in our church who lost his father, ironically. His father died of cancer at age 28, if you can believe that. And I thought, gee, wouldn't it be nice to create a music video where this boy enters heaven without him noticing because he fell from a tree as he was playing. And then you see various scenes like him trying to be revived on, behind an ambulance or in the back of an ambulance. And then all of a sudden you flash to a gentlemanly figure in in a uniform, a military uniform.
In a heavenly field somewhere.
Right. And then you realize, oh, you know, that's that boy's grandfather or great-grandfather. And then you flash to archival footage of war. And then you realize, you know, here's this boy and here was this man, and they're both good men gone.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
Oh, we like.
That's a very good idea.
And I tell you what, I've really liked your exposition of you know, of The Shining and all of that. So, you know, it is a shame you do not have more time, and maybe your life is being measured away on what you're doing, because you've obviously got this televisual. Obviously, you have. You know, you're a video maker and everything. But love it. Love all that. So maybe this is a good point we sort of round up, really. Because
next time we talk, we should talk
Mutual Appreciation
more
Society.
This is not an echo chamber, because we're talking across the pond, different culture, different location. But I'll tell you, when our paths do cross, it is fantastic to talk to people, like I said, different culture, different corner of the world. But again, we see the world through the lens of Scripture, and that's what unites us. And even though we have different jobs, I understand what it takes to put together a good album. I do the sound reinforcement for my church. I sit behind an Allen and Heath GLD 80, so we can have up to 20 inputs, and it's all digital. I can mix and match monitor outputs through an iPad on stage, and I'm very careful in shaping the sound in a particular way. And I think anyone who plays on stage appreciates that. And we've come a long way, you know, sonically speaking, and musically as well. We have amazing musicians in my little church of about 250 to 300 people. We have the percussionist for the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. We have opera singers, you name it. You know, we've been really blessed. And yet the opera singer whips out an electric guitar and then puts that down and picks up an acoustic guitar, all in the same song. It's really diverse, and I appreciate the diverse sound behind Dissident Prophet. And I have to say, Andy, you must have some Jewish blood in you, because you always have a Hebrew round song in every one of your albums. Where does that come from?
I just absolutely love. Well, to be fair, when I first got saved,
it's me with the Jewish blood.
Mel's got the. She's an Mel's surname is Amos, so there you go. It's all through her. I've caught it off her. But yeah, I mean, when I first got saved, you know, that was almost within a day of getting saved. I knew the Catholic Church was some kind of terrible abomination. I knew in my heart that the alien thing was demonic, and I knew that there's something really significant about the Jews, and obviously Jesus being a Jew, and the whole context framing the gospel. So I've always liked the Hebrew context of Jesus, and it's really helped me understand when I'm reading the New Testament, the context. But that aside,
and we're big fans of a messianic
Jewish
band called Lamb.
Joel Chernoff.
Yeah, and if you've not heard it, get it.
I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah, triple CD, the Best of Lamb, is it? Is it called the Best of Lamb?
No, just Lamb 1, 2, and 3.
Lamb 1, Lamb 2, Lamb 3. Yeah, absolutely.
And so when I got saved, Tom, our guitarist and fellow brother who'd helped me lead me to the Lord and stuff, and in fact was here tonight. We used to sit down and listen to the Lamb. He had it on vinyl, and we'd listen to King's X, which was another Christian band. We'd listen to Larry Norman, and that was I was just loved Lamb, and it was just so kind of. I've heard other messianic Jewishy kind of music, and it just doesn't touch me at all. But this is just like how can I explain it? I don't know. And so I've always loved that kind of sound. I like the general kind of Eastern sound as well, and balalaikas and all sorts of those kinds of sounds. I love those earthy sounds. But obviously, my real background's new wave punk kind of stuff, really. But throwing all that stuff in it as well.
new wave Hebraic punk.
Yeah, kind of thing. So,
New genre.
but yeah, absolutely. So I've always kind of written a few songs that, at least each album has a couple of songs that are like that, and yeah, there you go.
Well, I have to tell you that, the name of the song just is blank upon my head, and I can't go to it right now because I will cover over your screen. Sorry, Run to the Mountains or Run to the Hills?
Run to the Mountains.
Run to the
Run
Mountains.
to the Mountains, right. I have to say, that Dissident chord drives me crazy. And then when the chord changes, it's like you got sunshine again.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't listened to Dissident Prophet yet, you've got the classic, Book of Revelation reference there. They will run to the hills, they'll run to the mountains for refuge. And then Andy has whipped up some kind of evil chord that just perfectly describes that confusion and fear. And then in the middle of this, running to the hills for safety, is a chorus, and then the key change, and it's just so remarkable.
Kind of lifts.
Yes,
it lifts.
Totally. It lifts your spirit, and then you go back to that confusion again, and then back to the chorus, and you appreciate that transition all the more. So I just wanted to say, well done musically.
You are lovely.
Thank you. I mean, we don't think of it too much. I think it's just the Spirit of God. I think it's like, that kind of these concepts that are in the Bible that are true, that are going to be true, and have been true. Really, there's nothing. Being a Christian and believing in the Bible, and the Bible speaking to you, and Jesus speaking to you, if I wasn't a Christian, I'd have nothing to say. Just be singing about nothing. But it's just, you can't help but want to sing and say these things. It's a weird thing because it's true, and we're not playing a game of thinking, let's write a few songs about Jesus. And I tried that before. When I first got saved, it was useless. It was full of cliches. I was in a secular band, tried to write songs about Jesus, but it was terrible. But a couple, year or so later, then God started to kind of like do a different thing, and I think it's a strange thing, isn't it? In our band, it's kind of easy what we do, isn't it? Don't you think, Mel?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all saved now. Our drummer's saved, well and truly saved. He's on fire for God, and it's very easy in that sense. When we meet together to do music, we're kind of more excited about talking and having fellowship and stuff and talking about Jesus. So it's like the music's great, but really, we just love having fellowship, and we're excited and encouraging one another and stuff. It's like church, really, when we meet together. So, and we're very fortunate that we can play music at least now, and the Lord's enabled us to do that and given us the ability and the songs and the music and stuff like that. We're just very fortunate. We keep asking him to keep helping us, writing, giving us songs and stuff, and he has done, hasn't he? So, but so that's that, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Dissident Prophet, as I'm sure are aware of by now, I hate to use the term, but it sounds like a niche kind of genre. Again, I don't want to pigeonhole the whole concept, but again, it's not for everyone, but for those that like it, it really, really resonates. And I'll tell you what, it's my number one workout music. I mean, I have to keep my heart clean and clear. So I make sure I'm on the bike, and I'll listen to an album at a time. That's how I get out all my frustrations. But then I'm just totally zoned into the music. I don't even realize, oh, wait, my heart's going at 145 beats per minute here. So that has a powerful effect on me.
Great stuff. Hey, Leonard, I think time's moving on.
Yes.
And I think we should finish now, and we should speak again soon. By the way, we are working on a new album as well, so we'll get that one to you when we've done that as well. But what we'd like you to do is just to sign off, is to just let people know from our perspective, our podcast, where people can find your stuff. So if you could just give people...
Absolutely. Okay, if you're not aware, I make YouTube films, and the name of my channel is simply my name. It's nothing special. It's Leonard Ulrich, Leonard Ulrich. And my overall genre is of the historical and scriptural perspective. I study how evil is organized in order to shine the light upon the solution, which is Jesus Christ, and make people appreciate that all the more. It's kind of like when the seas are rolling, you hang on to the lifesaver all the more tightly. My website is simply nwotruth.org. That's nwotruth.org for New World Order. And I am about 3/4 of the way done my second feature film called The Illusion of Money. The first film is called The New World Order / Wars and Rumors of Wars, because that introduces the whole New World Order topic through the lens of about 5,000 years of history. So the first film was multi-topical, and the second film is monotopical. But of course, the whole concept of money has many, many arms on its tentacles. So it's taken me a long time. I've had to overcome a lot of things, but thanks to God's help and your prayers and your support, the second film is well on its way. I'm certainly not going to stop now. So that's that.
Yeah.
And
so we've got to say we can't, we are so looking forward to that. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
When the time's right, when it's
timely.
going to come out.
Very important.
So looking forward.
I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If the film came out a year and a half earlier and I missed the whole topics of cryptocurrency and the blockchain and artificial intelligence, it would have been a total disaster. So God forced history to be included in that film. That's how I look at it.
Leonard, with that, we better sign off because
Yes.
we've spoken quite a long time.
Yeah.
And but there's so much more to talk about. I heard you on Basil and Gons the other day, and I was just like thinking, oh no, keep going. It's like, there's so much. I know there's so much in there in the tank, But yeah, we'll finish now, and we want to chat again in the future, very near future, hopefully as well. And,
Absolutely. It's one item on my bucket list to see a Dissident Prophet concert live.
Okay, me too.
Right.
Okay.
You're always there.
No, I want to have an avatar watching it.
Well, then I think you might be disappointed.
No, just a mirror then. Okay.
Well, yeah. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thank you.
We love you. It's been so good chatting. So
Yes.
good.
The time has flown.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
It has.
Okay, good
Leonard.
evening, you two. God bless you.
Evening to you as well, bro. Okay. God
Bye.
bless. In a bit. Bye.